If you've ever felt your heart rate spike when the clock starts, or known instantly where a piece goes before your hand even reaches for it, well, then this is the podcast for you. Hey, I'm Lucy, and welcome to Dissectologists. Today I'm talking with Kyle, a competitive speed puzzler known online as kind of a jig deal. Kyle lives in that fascinating space where puzzling becomes kind of athletic in a way. You've got time to solve, muscle memory, strategy, and a mental catalog of shapes and patterns, I'm guessing. So Kyle, thanks for joining me.
Thank you. I'm happy to chat with you a little bit. Thanks for the invite.
So what flipped the switch for you from sort of casual puzzling to, hey, I want to see how fast I can do this?
Yeah, so I've loved jigsaw puzzles since I was a little kid. I remember I had these sets of puzzles that I would do on the floor just over and over again when I was, like 4 or 5 years old, probably my earliest memories. And ever since, I've loved doing jigsaw puzzles, and it led me to following Karen Puzzles, which is, I know, where a lot of people that are now involved in speed puzzling began, because she started covering speed puzzling, and it started with a video, at least the first one I saw on the topic was she covered the 2022 World Championship. And I immediately thought it was extremely cool. And I think it was the very next day where I just took a 500-piece puzzle from my collection and I timed myself for the very first time. It was a decent time. And more than that, I realized I loved it. It was exciting. So I just kept going. And it was the perfect timing to start because I was just in time to sign up for the 2022 U.S. Nationals.
Do you happen to remember the first time that you did solve a puzzle within like that allotted time period? And how did that feel?
It was probably like an hour 24, which is decent. At a lot of these big events, you have an hour and a half. But once I started practicing, I feel like I improved pretty quickly right off the bat. And when it really hit was at the national championship when I got 16th place in the country. I mean, having done this for 4 months, right? So I thought, oh, there's something here.
That's huge.
That was a big moment for me. Things have changed a lot since then, though, in the world of speed puzzling.
What has your observation been as far as the changes that you've been seeing? Because it is growing really fast.
Yeah. I guess I'll look at the World Championship. It was growing rapidly for a long time. And with that, you get puzzlers of every skill level, but of course you get a lot of incredibly fast puzzlers. Like the winner of the 2024 National Championship, my friend Alice, no one had ever heard of her before, and she came and won the whole thing.
So let's break down the mechanics of speed. Walk me through your approach when the timer starts. What is the first thing your brain is doing?
Yeah, so you don't know what the puzzle is until the timer starts. So you are immediately, as soon as you've got that box and you're opening it, pulling out the pieces, you're already starting to plan based on brand new knowledge. And a lot of these big events like Worlds and Nationals, they'll use puzzles that have never been seen by anyone before, never been puzzled. So there's a lot that goes into it. But my basic process is, of course, you always want to flip all the pieces over. And then a lot of people, myself included, will pull out the edges as well. And maybe a couple other groups of things that you want to start with, maybe like the most obvious parts. From there, I'll usually do the edge first. It kind of depends on the puzzle. You have some images where the whole border looks the same. You don't want to start if that's the case. You save those for later.
Fantastic.
It's still nice to have them separated from the other pieces, whether or not you're going to start with them. But
that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a matter of identifying what is going to be quickest, what's going to be easiest. Because the more pieces that you have assembled, the easier the rest of the pieces are going to be. Even at the very fastest level, the puzzle takes 30, 40, 50 minutes. So it is a taxing experience, being that focused for that long.
Yeah. Oh, man. I didn't even think about the fact that you are just so plugged in for that period of time.
Yeah.
And at home, I walk away.
And we've got to power through. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take my time with this one. But to just have to power through it in 30, 40 minutes is wild.
Yeah. And I not only mentally, but my body, I start to overheat. The motor skills are a big part of it too. If you watch someone puzzle, even if they're racing, it doesn't look like a whole lot's going on maybe, but like it is a lot of movement. Your hands are constantly going here and there. So there's a lot about it. It's an endurance test for sure.
Are you a headphones on person when you puzzle? I notice like some people do, some people aren't, but I would think for me, music would
Yeah.
be stimulating.
Yeah, that's one thing I love about it. You always get to listen to music, even in big events. So a lot of us have our headphones on. For me, that's a huge deal. Kind of helps me stay calm and also kind of gets me in a Zen mode. I try to listen to stuff that's mostly like fast tempo, kind of a beat, but I've got a little more mellow stuff, just like reminding me to cool it every once in a while. Because yeah, my hands get shaky and my heart starts to go crazy when I'm at the in-person events.
Is there a certain song you find yourself gravitating to more than others?
I feel like I should be prepared for this moment because I love music and I talk about music all the time.
I think that makes it harder to choose, actually.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. There's a song called Come Alive by Pendulum. Songs that make me feel like I'm on top of the world.
You kind of have to be in that mode.
Yeah. Confidence is a big part of it too, you know? It's not just getting focused, but getting hyped, getting excited for the race.
So how much of speed puzzling do you think, for you personally is strategy versus instinct? Like, for example, do your hands ever know exactly where a piece is going before your brain actually is processing that you did it?
Yeah, sometimes. So I think speed puzzling, you can break it down into 3 skills. The first is the visual side of it. And I think that's probably the biggest part and also maybe the hardest to learn. Just the ability to distinguish subtle differences in color, in patterns and textures and shapes. Just being able to look at pieces and figure out how they go together, or being able to look at the box and figure out where pieces go from there. The second is what I call piece management. It's basically your organization skills as you're going through the race, not cluttering up your space, trying to divide and conquer, one section at a time and not getting too chaotic with it, which is what I struggle with. I'm a chaos puzzler.
See, an organization, I relate to that part of it. I'm like, I like to have mine organized for sure.
Yeah, I'm jumping around all the time within a puzzle and still working on that. The third thing is just your dexterity, like your hand-eye coordination. Like I said, the movement, it is a big part of it. Just how fast you can pick up a piece, place it. When you get to like a section of the puzzle that's really easy, you know that everyone's going to be crazy fast on that section. So it comes down to just how fast are you moving. I think those are the 3 skills that I aim to practice.
Maybe you just answered my next question, but I was going to say, do you like consciously train for this? Or does speed come naturally over time?
No, I definitely have to train. And, I've been to so many events in the past couple of years that it is getting to be maybe like a burnout point where it's a little harder for me at this point. But yeah, whenever an event is coming up, I spend at least a couple weeks up to like a few months where I am intentionally training for that race. And a large part of that is you usually know what brands are going to be in that race. So exclusively doing puzzles from them. There's a lot of fun. Like the community is so incredibly welcoming and such a fun thing to be a part of. And sometimes we'll like challenge each other or, play games with it, like encouraging each other to practice.
That's great.
Like we have the national championship coming up and one of my friends is doing like a weekly, okay, let's all get on a call and do this puzzle tonight and see how we do. Stuff like that. So, you try to find motivation in different ways. And for me, I stream a lot of my training. And so I've got people that are watching and maybe giving tips or what they've noticed, and it helps me think about different things and just makes it more fun. So
yeah, because I think like what intimidates a lot of people is the anxiety piece of speed puzzling. How do your nerves show up and how do you manage that?
usually it's just shaky hands. So I actually, I have a background as a musician. I think you did too. But I've always had performance anxiety and I've just never been able to get over it. And it translates into speed puzzling. It's detrimental, actually. A lot of people find that they're faster in real events because the adrenaline helps. And I don't know, something in their mind switches and just takes things more seriously. For me, it's the opposite effect. Like I struggle because I just get so nervous and that manifests physically. Lately, I've been trying to be more focused on just enjoying the process. rather than being so concerned about how things go. And that helps a lot too. Because enjoyment, of course, for me has got to be the top thing.
Like prioritizing the participation side as opposed to the winning side, maybe
Yeah.
just a little bit. Like, obviously, everybody wants to be a champion. It sounds like from what you said, the community is quite addicting to be around. And I'm hearing that actually a lot.
Yeah. I mean, if you just imagine what sort of person you think would enjoy jigsaw puzzles very seriously, like they're very kind, very intelligent, very creative people, really fun to be around. And I don't know, it's cool to see different like niche communities within the community. Like for a few years now, we've had like a solid group, like the people that go to nationals or the people that you see at Worlds. And I've got other puzzle groups too. I've got this streaming group now where we've got a group chat going. And I know that speed puzzling is becoming a much bigger deal on the local level. So there's speed running groups. So there's an offshoot of speed puzzling where you intentionally run the same puzzle again and again and again to see how fast you can get it. And there's a side of the speed puzzling that really likes that. You get like the stats, the people that love looking at the stats of the different races. So yeah, I mean, there's so many worlds within this world now at this point. It's really cool.
Statisticians for jigsaw puzzle competition. Like, that's wild to me. Okay.
Yeah.
So speed versus joy. I'm sure that's a pendulum swing for some people in this group. Maybe, maybe not. But for you, do you still puzzle slowly just for fun? Do you find joy in a slow puzzling experience?
Mostly I'm still timing myself, but I appreciate casual puzzling as well. So, and most of the time that's for the social aspect. Like when I'm puzzling with my mom, or I have 3 nieces. They're 2, 6, and 4. Just a recent development. I've got them asking to do puzzles with me, and it's so fun, so fun. Or like I have a grandma that passed away, and some of my favorite memories with her are, in the last couple of years of her life, I would just go over there and we do a puzzle together and talk about all kinds of things. So the puzzling took on a different kind of meaning for me and has helped me connect with a lot of people in my life. And even at these events, when we're not doing the races, in our downtime, there's usually puzzles on the table and we're just chatting. It's such a cool hobby because it's actually quite diverse in the ways you can enjoy it.
So what do you think speed puzzlers understand about puzzles that a casual puzzler might not?
Are you talking about purely like how to do it quickly?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, like, do you see it more mechanical? Like my favorite thing is organizing the pieces. So like, that's my lens.
I do think most times when people think about a puzzle, they're probably thinking of a 1,000 piece. That's just the most common piece count, I think, out there. But that is a lot of pieces for a casual puzzler. I think if more people would try smaller piece counts, like 200, 300 pieces, I think way more people out there would enjoy puzzling in general.
That's such a great tip, because I think people look at piece count and think the lower the piece count, the younger the age. And that's not necessarily true.
Yeah, I agree. I wish there were more 300 piece puzzles out there.
Well, maybe somebody will hear this and they'll start putting a few more out there.
Yeah, I hope.
So what would you say to somebody that thinks, oh, speed puzzling, that's not for me, or I can't do that?
Well, it might not be. One thing that I love about speed puzzling, and we see it more and more, you can have competition within the competition. For example, I do a lot of races with speedpuzzling.com. The guy who runs it, Jonathan, he has a tier system where like the top 10%, for example, are called the gold belts. So you're kind of sorted into different levels and can compete with the people at your level. I think a lot of people that first get into speed puzzling are trying to compete with the very best. Like they're looking at that top 10 and wanting that. And I think that's sad. I wish people would do more of that, like looking at the people in your level and not necessarily trying to be best of the best. To race, I think, can be a lot of fun if you look at it from that angle.
It kind of reminds me of the way they tier video games.
Sure, yeah, you rank up and...
Right.
Yeah. And then to go back to your question, I do acknowledge that like speed puzzlers, we're the weird ones, right? I mean, a jigsaw puzzle for the longest time has been seen as like something meditative, something calming. And we flipped it on its head and made it one of the most stressful things you could possibly do.
We're the weird ones. Oh man, that's going to stick. Okay. Kyle, I end every interview with the same 3 puzzle questions, and there's no right answers to these. There's no wrong answers, but I think some people have opinions about them. And so here we go. What is your favorite puzzle size by piece count now that we've been talking about these piece counts?
No, I'm going to contradict myself here because I love 1,000 piece puzzles.
I do too.
I do find that one of my greatest strengths is puzzling off the box. And with a 1,000 piece puzzle, that skill becomes more handy if you're able to pinpoint where a piece goes within a big image like that. So I do love a fast, I'll say that as a qualifier, a fast 1,000 piece.
I know what you
Yeah.
mean. Not a challenge. What's like the time commitment usually for 1,000 piece for you when you're going at it from a speed angle?
Yeah, I think if I can beat 2 hours, I'm happy. My fastest ever is 1:19. So,
okay. Question number 2. You are finishing a puzzle and you realize one piece is missing. What do you do?
that's the worst. I look everywhere. I'll upturn my whole room, you know? And sometimes I do find them in crazy places, like across the room. Eventually, they almost always do turn up when it's a new puzzle. When it's used, who knows? And it's crazy how common it is. Even if you watch the big races, it's so common that someone's missing exactly one piece or a couple pieces.
What happens then? What do they do? How do they prove it was actually missing? And this person's like, no, it's done. It is, I swear.
It's hard to prove, but yeah, it happens for sure. At one of the world championships, the world champion in one of our earlier races, I think, was missing 5 pieces from the puzzle. I don't know. There are things like that you can't avoid. So,
okay, 3rd question. You open a new puzzle, which sounds like you've done quite a few of those.
Yes. Yeah.
And some of the pieces are stuck together. Do you leave them assembled or do you pull them apart and you mix them in?
You leave them assembled. I think most people would agree with that. Here's what I always think. If anyone else has pieces assembled, are they going to be taking them apart? I don't think so. So I better not.
Makes sense for speed puzzling that you'd be like, I'm going to take this win right here, you know?
We call them gifts. And it happens pretty common. So I think most people kind of just roll with it and keep them.
Well, Kyle, thank you so much for spending time with me today. This has been a blast.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a fun chat. Thanks, Lucy.
And to everyone listening, whether you puzzle for calm, community, or the clock, remember you're doing it the right way.